Hello and welcome to Wondertilt, the podcast where fascinating topics of the day are weighed with opinion, knowledge, and humor, causing the seesaw of life to lean in whatever direction it chooses to rest. My name is Russ, and here on the Wondertilt podcast today, I have my co-host, Super Dave.
Hello there.
And Mr. Cloud of the Cloud Coma.
Hello.
That's like your wrestler name intro. It's
Nice.
Cloud Coma. Happy New Year, everybody. We've got an interesting. Yes, happy 2018. It's not 2012, and everyone
Still
thought the world
alive.
was going to
The
end.
world didn't end. Yep.
Exactly. We're much past that.
Honestly.
It's too much of that going
I
on.
hope. Well, we're about 6 years removed from that now, and now I feel old. But I just wanted to let you guys know we have a little bit of an interesting show, as opposed to all of our boring shows before this. Okay, I wanted to today discuss something that might make some people cringe because they don't care. We're not going to dive into the area that the glamour magazines do, but I want to talk today about fashion trends. Okay, now that sounds very metrosexual of me, and good for y'all. I definitely accessorize when I want to, but I am wanting to talk. The reason why this came about is because during my Christmas holidays, it was actually Christmas Day. I spent the whole day with my family, and near the end of the night, we ended by watching home videos. And you know, I grew up in the '90s, like a good boy did, and unlike any of these other co-hosts, I am strictly a '90s baby because I'm the baby of this group.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess
You're
so.
not. You're not old at all.
He's a
Dave.
young un.
You're fine.
I had a couple years in the 80s. Yeah, fair enough.
Well, you're walking around. It's not... and so I was watching these home videos, and I looked at my uncle. His name is Twan. He's from Holland, and he's like 22, 23 years old in those home videos, and he looked like a modern day millennial. And I was just like, "What the frick? Like we've come
Ahead of his
full
time.
circle again." Yeah, seriously. And so I'm
He's
like,
actually your son from the future.
That's right.
That's
Time machines.
just, I can't even. We are going to talk about a totally different topic today, ladies. Just no longer fashion. But it just freaked me out because I'm like, fashion is just such a loose word, just like the English language. But I would like to ask you guys something. So we're going to kind of go into that a little bit in today's show about fashion, where it came from, where it went, and where it's going. But I had a question for you guys first. Okay.
All right.
Was there any point in time you can actually recollect trying to jump into or buy into a fad, or were you ever fashion conscientious, or has it always been like practicality first, or I don't really care ever, or have there been times when you're like, oh yeah, I definitely went into this phase of my life where I bought these kind of shirts, or you know what I'm saying? So Cloud, you go first if you can. If it's on the spot, then you can try to push Super Dave into it. But has there ever been a time where you really found yourself paying attention to the latest trend, or you ever even noticed when you're like, that's stupid?
There probably was a time. I can't like put a specific like year on it or time in my life.
Okay.
I just know that like I don't like wearing clothes that's shiny.
Okay.
So anything that glistens, but I have worn stuff that glistens.
Okay.
So, but like, I've told you before, where like I've gone shopping, and the way I shop is as I go down the aisles like of clothes, I run my fingers through them, and if something feels comfortable enough, I grab it, and then I look at it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't look at it. The first thing I have to feel is how comfortable it is. Comfort's a really big thing for me, because if it's not comfortable, I'm not wearing it.
So does that influence most of your purchase though? So like if you like
It's the
feel
first
it
thing
and
I
you're
look
like,
at.
that's really, really comfy, and then you pull it out and it's like this butt ugly sweater.
Okay, yeah. So
But, like,
so this is
Too bad.
this
Comfy.
is the no,
That's
that's,
what I was gonna
right.
say.
This is no. This is the process. So
Woman's nightshirt. Too bad.
So it's that's right. I don't know if that'd be
Lingerie.
comfy. It's very breezy. I love it. So like, okay, so you're running your hands through the clothes, right? And it feels like kind of soft, but it's got to be like a stretchy material. And so I grab that, I look at it. Does it look good? Is like the design on it? Is there a design on it? Is it just a solid color? Is it is it shiny, right? I don't wear shiny. Stuff like that, right? And if it's just like a plain tee that has no design on it, then it's fine. If the design on it, if I think it's kind of cool or whatever, then I'll get it. Then I will look at the price, and if it's something that it meets the criteria, like the initial criteria of being comfy and looks good, and it's my size, then I will buy it no matter what the price is. As long
Holy
as
balls.
there's nothing else in the store that is cheaper that meets that criteria. So
Does softness then like determine 60% of your purchase already before you even look at the fashion?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So you don't pay attention to fashion. You define your own based on comfort, which isn't necessarily fashion based. It's comfort based.
Yeah, that's right. Because if it's not comfy, I'm not going to wear it.
What about like in terms of like hairstyle or accessories or anything like that? Like, okay, fair enough. Like clothing, yeah, you got to wear it all day. But for something that's not necessarily, in that realm, you ever been on the bandwagon that way?
With it depends. Like if I'm at home, I don't style my hair or anything like that. When I go out though, I do tend to really I'm really picky on how I look. And so like the stuff I wear at home is like just PJs. Like if I get home from like a day out or like when I was in school, I'd get home, I'd strip my clothes off and then put on comfy stuff, and that's what I'd wear the rest of the day. I would not stay in my outdoor clothes. It's constricting, but it's still comfy for me, but it's more constricting, and so I don't like being at home as if like I'm in a prison. That's my free space.
Sure.
Yeah.
Really?
But when I go out, it takes me like an hour and a half to like 2 hours just to get ready. It's crazy. I'm like a girl. I take forever.
Well, you have long hair too, right? So that's the whole thing.
I do, but
long hair.
It takes me longer now, but before it didn't take me as long, but it would still take me about an hour to get ready, even though like I used to just like buzz my hair, like buzz my head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it showering for you or what?
No, it's like choosing clothes. Like it is showering. Showering's a big thing where I go until the hot water's done. I just love showering.
Holy balls.
Yeah. And my mom would always get mad at me when I would do that, like when I was at the old house, because she'd be the one paying the utility bill, right? And then when I started paying for this place and I'm paying utilities, and then she's like, why are you taking so long? I'm like, don't question me. I pay for the water and I'm paying for this leisure, for this luxury, so I can go as long as I want. Yeah.
Okay. So that's your criteria. So you never really focused on trends or anything. You mostly, even though you still take a long time to pick your outfit, it's mostly because of how you feel.
Yeah, that's right. And like even when it comes to like I actually like want to buy more suits, and a lot of people don't like suits because they're uncomfy. They're not comfy.
Hot. Sweaty.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
True. Yeah,
but
pretty hard. Yeah.
But the thing is that every suit I have had, I have my aunt, Patricia. She's actually like a seamstress, right? So she does suited adjustments and stuff like that. And she used to work at Moore's Clothing for Men, right? And they had lots of suits. And so every suit I've had has been tailored to fit me. So it's always been comfortable. It's never been uncomfortable for me. And so they've always been, they've been a good fit. They've always looked good. It's always like being tailored to my body shape and all that stuff. And so it's like I'm one of those rich kids that like walked in and then they got a suit made for them, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think typically, at least if you're like buying like your one suit, your main suit, if you're not a suit guy, but you kind of need one for weddings and funerals, you got to go tailored, otherwise you just look like, little Joshy at his bar mitzvah or something. Like,
Oh
you know,
yeah,
I don't
they're
know,
nasty.
wearing dad's
They're
suit.
nasty. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always
Okay.
been a fan of the suit onesie. You know, I need to get me
Suit
one of
onesie.
those. Yeah, you've seen those? They look.
No.
I have not.
There's a style of them. They look exactly like a suit, but it's like it's not actually all the pieces. It's just the parts that you see, and then everything else is sewn together, and then it just zips like right down. Yeah,
Someone's
apparently
a
this-
genius.
they're super
That's genius.
cool and super
suitsy.
comfortable and easy to put on.
Nice.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
suitsy.
A business
Yeah.
suit onesie.
Find out what it's called, and we'll get a promotion going.
That's right.
That being said,
Sponsor us.
what about you, Dave? Any different, or are you the same?
No, yeah, for me, it's always like a game of catch up, where I'm like, generally I'm super, like in most things, I'm pretty lazy and pretty, just do the bare minimum that's necessary and get on with your life. But, and that's kind of how I am with clothes. Like very rarely will I go out and buy new clothes. Most of my clothes come around Christmas time now or from gifts from people, which is cool because I actually appreciate that now that I'm an adult. But yeah, I mean, so typically I would just wear what I was comfortable with, but there is like different times in my life where I've tried to, get something that I considered trendy or fashionable. The problem is I'm always usually just like a little bit behind in the trends, right? And so, or just like somewhat off, like, I don't know, just some examples. I'm trying to think, like when I was in like elementary school, junior high, I got into a skater phase because that was like the whole time, right?
Yes.
But I was like 100% a poser. Like to this, I still can't stand on a skateboard without like, immediately sitting down.
Yeah.
And so, but I had like the, the baggy cargo pants and like the t-shirt over your long sleeve shirt and the, hoodies and all that stuff and skater shoes and, but always like Walmart brands, always like, always like a few months after everybody had already been wearing it. And it was kind of like, it was a pretty half-assed attempt, but it was kind of like, whatever, I want to fit in.
But not enough to buy the actual stuff.
Yeah. And then at different times too, I've just sort of like, I get in these sort of like moods where I just try and like reinvent myself in terms of like my appearance and the kind of clothes I wear. And like at one point in elementary school, I got really into like floral Hawaiian print shirts just because I don't know. Yeah. All
That was a
kinds of
phase.
characters and stuff.
You
that I
Ace
saw on
Ventura
TV.
it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then for a while it was like, and then again it was the 90s, so I got really into the plaids and the flannels and the tying it around my waist. Now some of this has come back around,
Yes,
it's
it
definitely
has.
changed as I've gotten older. I've got lucked out, like, beards came back in once I was finally able to grow like a decent beard. Totally just circumstantial. Now flannels are in, but not really the kind of flannels that I wear. You know what I mean? Like they the ones that I see on sort of what I would consider stylish guys are pretty like, ironed and, like just like a plaid tone dress.
They're pretty
shirt.
pristine. Yeah.
Whereas me, it's like just some crumpled up old thing with like a missing button. And, if I get like 2 degrees below a comfortable level, that thing's going right around my waist. And I might just there, at that point it's a belt.
That's what layers are for.
Yeah.
That's so 90s, I think.
Yeah,
That's
I
so
know.
90s.
And but so, I mean, I'm definitely reaching the point where, now I do the thing where when I get home, immediately I'm into, pajama pants and like a hoodie or something, just because
His
it's
teddy
like,
bear onesie.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, if it's the wash,
right.
yeah. But yeah, I'm transitioning into that because it's sort of like, I don't know. I used to have like a lot more. I still do have them because I don't hardly ever throw anything out. But like T-shirts that were like way more form-fitting, and then I just don't wear them now because it's like uncomfortable and there's like bunches around my armpits or like right up and you can see my gut or just I'm finding I'm more conscious of that when I'm picking my clothes. It's just like, oh man, I'm gonna be wearing this like all day. I don't wanna. Or my pants. I've got pants that are like stylish pants, but they're like very like form fitting and I just can't stand wearing them for more than like a couple hours. It's like a elastic band around my entire lower half of my body or something, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Part of that is I'm getting a bit rounder around the middle, around the equator. So, you know, that tends to, increase the pressure. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's more personal style. Even, I do have a few floral print shirts that I'll wear now, depending on the situation.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I dig it, and if it's nice having options, I guess, to kind of reflect the mood you're in that day, Yeah, I do like that. I do like the aspect of having different outfits and different, this is a serious party, then I'm going to wear like a nice dress shirt and, some khakis and whatever, but it's more a personal thing. So yeah, I'm kind of all over the map.
I think I'm figuring out how immature I am compared to you guys, because you guys are going to laugh now, but like I can remember very distinctly when I switched from caring or not even caring or not even knowing what fashion is to starting to pay attention to what I wore. And like, I used to just like, my mom would go to Value Village. I love Value Village, by the way. And that's my jam. Yeah. But I remember just being a young boy, she would get us some decent clothes and I'd wear like the same 3 outfits all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like you would just like, this yellow shirt goes with these blue pants. These black pants go with this blue shirt. And I would wear them over and over. I just became in a habit. And then I think I was around maybe 14, 15 years old. Fact is, I know it was around that time. And I don't know how I discovered it, but like I had this like, I think maybe this is going to be hard because to Cloud's point when we were talking before the show, it's going to be hard to describe this. But those like dress shirts you see in those trendy stores, but they're not meant to be dress shirts. They have like the cool inseam and they look a little too butch to be a dress shirt because they have like these weird patterns on them. You know what I'm talking about? No, they're like full button ups, the white collar, but they have like a dragon on the back or like they.
Oh, okay, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
They look kind of chachi, and you're like,
drug dealer
not a dress
clothes.
Shirt. Seriously,
Yakuza
that's
stuff.
what it is.
Yeah,
Thank you, Yakuza. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yes. I joined a gang shortly after this. So my dad had a shirt like that or something that was too small for him, and I was given it, and I loved it, but I didn't like wearing it by itself. I was a drug dealer. No, just kidding. So I remember where I put a T-shirt over top of it. So I had a dress shirt with the collar weird. Out, but a T-shirt. Okay, I know it sounds weird. Ask your sister. Ask Paula. And I wore this all the time, this kind of look. I then started to literally create my own look around that. So I had all my pants I didn't care about. They were just comfortable pants. But I would wear a T-shirt over top of a dress shirt all the time. And the dress shirt was untucked. That was my style. And then in the summer.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Well,
yeah.
I feel like I've seen people wear that before.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to say it's not completely out there, but it's definitely not as common anymore. And also, I can't stand that anymore. You look on Facebook and I kind of cringe. It's cringeworthy. But then to Dave's mention, when I turned around 16, I went to this summer camp and I became friends with skaters. I was exactly like Dave, but it was the opposite generation where you became a skater, I think probably 5 to 6 years before me. And your skater phase was baggy pants and hoodies. Mine was skinny pants and V-necks.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about. And so,
sure.
Okay, quick story. I fell in love with their style. I was like, that looks comfortable. It looks casual. I want to do it. So my buddy Stefan, God bless him. Oh my gosh, I was a stupid homeschooled kid. He's like, Russ, I told him I wanted to buy some skinnies. He's like, you know what? I have a trick for you how to buy skinnies. And I'm like, what? He's like, buy women's pants. I was like, what? He's like, no, seriously, buy women's skinnies. It's like, I don't think I can do that, man. Like, I haven't even tried.
I've never been to that part of the store. It's too
I've
far
never
over there.
walked to the left before.
Are we allowed?
Yeah, we're allowed to enter there.
So he takes me on
The
one of our
unwritten
breaks back on the weekend. We come back from the summer camp for a weekend break, and he takes me to Winners, and he leads me right to the women's style. The fact he was so confident, knowing exactly what aisle he wanted, was scary. Like, he just went right in. He's like, oh, these are great. He finds me these pants. They're a little bit sparkly, but not too bad. And they're black. And they're like 3% spandex.
Bedazzled.
I go to the back. I put them on. And he's like, those are your pants. And I was like, oh God. But I wanted to be edified.
Do they have to be mine? Can I get a different pair?
Please, dear God,
Nope.
I'll take the short shorts after this. And he's like, no, man, those are your pants. So I bought them, not because I even liked them, because like Stefan said they looked good on me. So I get a V-neck. I buy this white generic, those undershirt V-necks. And I wear the pants, and I show up at my door. I can still remember this. I walk through my door, and my mom is like walking past, and she stops dead cold. And she's like,
those are her pants.
Her eyes grow wide.
Yeah.
And opens
Yeah.
up,
I have
she's
that
like,
same pair of pants.
that is like, it wasn't quite like that. She was just like, you're wearing ladies' pants. And I was like, no, you can't tell.
awesome.
And she's like,
You're wearing ladies' pants.
That's right. Don't
So
judge me.
that was it. It's funny, but that kind of spurred me on, and I actually ended up buying actual men's skinnies. But to Dave, I just find that funny because you're like form-fitting pants. I can't stand baggy pants anymore. I can't.
Not like the feeling of blood in your legs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
could
can't
be,
do. I can't.
All right, yeah. I mean, you acclimatize to different things. I guess if you're wearing them all the time, you would just like get used to it.
I did, man. Like, I think it just became a fashion thing, and suddenly I liked me wearing skinnies more than I liked wearing bootcut. Because at that point, remember the t-shirt, dress shirt thing? That was right into the skinnies and V-necks. So I used to wear bootleg pants all the time, super comfortable. And then from then on, I don't think I only own one pair of like non-skinny jeans, and I don't know why, but like, I love skinnies, and I don't know. I can't stand it when there's like, it sounds funny after you make fun of me for the blood circulation, but I can't stand it when there's loose pants. I don't know. It's weird, but I don't know. I don't know.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a weird sensation, fabric.
Thanks,
extra
man.
fabric
Thanks for
flopping
making that
around your
feel
legs.
less weird to tell people. So I don't know. My fashion has obviously evolved since then. Now to Claudio's point, I look more for comfort than anything, but it still has to match my criteria of the style I want. Because I'm willing to wear slightly less comfortable pants if I like how I feel in terms of look. So that's a different kind of feel. It's not just like comfort. But I'm different than both of you guys in that I never wear comfy clothes at home. Paula will like wear like sweats. I hate sweats. I get too hot. I don't like it. I just wear skinnies at home. Even on a Saturday and I'm wearing my pajamas, I'll change into skinnies to wear throughout the house. I'm a weird dude.
Do you have
There you go.
skinny pajama pants?
Oh my gosh. Yes, actually, I wear long johns.
They're called yoga pants.
Nice. There you go.
They say juicy on the bum.
Thanks, bruh. Thanks. So I was going to ask you guys something then, because I don't want to dwell on this too long now that we've all kind of admitted how none of us except me are like the girl of this group who really wants to be the fashionista. But I was going to point out, especially with today's day and age, I have some examples, but like, I don't know if you guys have heard of the modern lumberjack, right?
I think
Like,
so.
I mean, that's like the
It's my goal.
hipster beard flannel. Isn't that? Maybe I don't know. Maybe I've stepped into something.
roll
here.
up their pants a little bit, and they have hiking boots that obviously are never used for hiking, and they roll up their pants a little bit, and they have like ankleless socks, and they have skinny pants or straight leg jeans, and then they have like the pressed plaid, and it's like I don't know what we've done, but we've like created again. I think somewhere down the road, someone just with their own fashion sense, or maybe Claudio's, I'm comfortable and I'm wearing this, just started strutting around in crap like this, and we just started buying into it. And then like real retail stores were like, they're eating this up. And so I was going to just ask you guys I have an article here I'll read in a moment, but this isn't new. None of the fashion stuff that we've even adopted, no one can be like, I invented a headband, right? Like none of this is, we've all recycled it. It's just kind of like the English.
Just like,
What?
except for the shoelace belt.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. When did that start happening? Do you guys remember that?
No, shoelace belt.
Oh, Claudio,
Is that a belt
elaborate,
made of
man.
shoelaces or a shoelace made of belt?
Either way.
Okay.
Seriously, man, people just started, and I only knew of it because of skaters, but people just stopped wearing belts and they started wearing shoelaces for belts. And they would just like wrap it
pretty
around
much
their
just
ankle.
take the shoelace off your shoe, wrap it around your waist to hold your pants up.
That's it. Yeah, and they
Well,
would just tie a
what
nice
about
little
your
bow.
shoe?
Well, they just buy shoelaces, man.
That's right.
Yes, they're cheaper than belts. Are they?
They're
I don't know.
bad. They're bad. I mean, my brother Addison, he still uses them, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, Claudio, but
Probably.
Ad-
I believe it.
Addison, like, he grabbed a hold of that. He's like, that is so much better than belts. And I actually don't think he owns a belt anymore.
I love belts.
Wow.
You didn't know about that, Dave?
No, I mean, I've done something like that. Like, I think my belt broke once and I used a piece of rope to keep my pants up, but that was only until I got home and I was super ashamed. So
Super
to wear
ashamed.
it proudly and be like, yes, I have
Don't
discovered
look at me.
a life hack. Nah, that's weird, man. Like, what's next? You should use an extension cord. Just get a little extension cord that's the weight of your body and then plug it in the front.
That's
You know,
right. Charge your phone on it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
perfect. That's beautiful. Like, invent the new fashion trend, man. Just do it.
Yeah.
Like, I was telling Cloud before we started, like, how the whole streaks, like the dyed hair thing caught on in the early 2000s. I know it's been even before that. Like, I'm aware that, like, in the 90s and 80s, hence what I mean by we recycle fashion. But, like, Cloud, for those that don't know, used to have, like, a semi-afro, and he had, like, what would you call them? Were they
But like
streaks?
it started though with short hair. I had short hair. I had highlights in there that were blonde, so they were kind of like a gold.
Was it like frosted tips for you or what?
Yeah, it was pretty much like frosted tips, and then it grew out, and the blonde just stayed in there.
It was baller.
And it got really big.
He was
and
hot.
then I got it. I think I dyed it at that time again.
Did you actually?
It was like a dark red. You couldn't see it unless you were in the sunlight. Like, my entire head was red.
I'm picturing like a Gen 1 NSYNC Justin Timberlake.
Yep, that's it.
Look.
That's the
Is
one.
that, yeah, brown roots,
Yes.
blonde tips. Okay.
You're pretty close, man. That's pretty awesome. Dude. Because I remember, like, we used to go to a youth group together, and, like, I didn't know Claudio because I was younger than him, and obviously at that age you don't really care about anyone except if they're in your age group. And Paula and I weren't even, like, friends yet. Like, we just knew each other in the youth group. But I remember Addison, we were driving to the youth group place to go, and Addison's like, I think Claudio's going to be there. I'm like, who's Claudio? He's like, oh, he's this really cool guy with frosted tips. I was like,
I look so
he's
bad.
like this.
I got
it was.
I got a school picture of it. Ugh.
I think it's because you also had facial hair, man. You like rocked the mustache goatee look. It was awesome.
because I got facial hair like really early, and the thing is that it only grew in a goatee pattern.
It totally did.
And so it just, like, that's the way I kept it. I never had to shave, nothing like that. It was a blessing in disguise.
Everyone in grade 12 thought you were like, whoa, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, the streaky hairs thing was more so 2000s. I did research a little bit of these. In the 2000s and late 90s, sweatbands were the rage. But then they stopped becoming, because it was people that copied off of athletes. Like, they loved how the athletes looked. They looked very popular. So people then just started wearing them, obviously not for recreational activity. And you just started sporting them. And then they quickly dissipated. Like, people don't wear headbands anymore except the Justin and Greg show. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that show. But stuff like that. I wanted to ask you this, though, because I totally repped these. And I actually want to bring it back. Trucker hats. Did you guys ever get into the whole trucker hats thing at all?
No, but for me, that's more of a hat thing. Like,
You're not a hat guy.
No, ball caps. I mean, never really got into them. I've tried a couple times. Even now, like, just sort of pure function, I have one that I wear because I need the sun to not be over top of my head sometimes. But it's like a flat military cap. I can't stand. It's a weird feeling. It's like,
really,
my hair all pressed down and getting all sweaty, and then, like, if you take it off, you got like a rim around your head, and I don't know. I've never been comfortable with it. Even when it was like I knew it was fashionable, and like that was all I needed to get my skater look on fleek, as the kids say.
On fleek.
Yeah, am I using that right? All right, thank you. Yeah.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. So, but I like in terms of them, trucker hats is like, if I had to wear a cap, it'd probably be something like that. You know, if they got, those are the ones like they're taller.
The mesh,
right?
the mesh,
and they
and
got
the taller
mesh,
hats.
the breathing. Yeah, that's
Yes.
cool. I can get on with that.
I remember, I again, maybe it's just because this is who I am and I pay attention to this crap, but I remember if you weren't cool, if you didn't have a trucker hat, like all the skaters had them, but like even just regular people have the best trucker hats. Are you a hat guy, Cloud, or no?
Yeah, I am actually, but that's when my hair is growing out, and it's not for fashion per se. For me, it's more for functionality. So it keeps all my hair back because like I pull it all back into like a mullet form, and then I just put the hat on. And
that's dope.
And then it just keeps everything back, so it doesn't get in my eyes or anywhere because I don't like when my hair gets like all over my face unless I style it that way.
And,
yeah.
And then I did have a trucker hat, which was like it said Lord on it for like God and stuff. Because I think I bought it at a oh no, it was Pola's. Yeah, it belonged to Pola, and then I just took it and I used it. But my issue with like people wearing hats is when they don't wear them properly, and not properly as in like sideways or anything. Properly as in it's not all the way down on your head. It kind of like sticks up a little bit.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Do I wear them like that?
Just
do I
like
drive you
the
crazy?
top
You
fifth
do
of your head.
sometimes.
I do drive you crazy. Okay.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah.
It's a pet peeve.
Yeah. I'm such a hat guy, Dave, that I knew it right away. As soon as Claudio's like, I can't stand people that tilt it up. I'm like, do I piss you off a little bit? Yeah, okay. I love they're not trucker hats. I'm searching for a really good one. I feel like I used to go to the States twice a year. We still do, but like I haven't been in a while. I dropped a basketball. But we used to go to the pawn shops in like Montana, in the middle of nowhere, and those were like legit worn by trucker hats, not the stupid.
They're like greasy and dusty.
Well, yeah, they're the best.
You can still see the
ones,
sweat
though.
stain along the inside.
Those are the best ones though. Like they're so good. And they were like $2, and like I remember my buddies like bought a bunch, and I bought like one. It was like a yellow one. It was ugly. It was terrible. It was disgusting. But I just was
probably
so desperate.
white when they made it.
Yeah. Solid black.
But they're not like those, ones you now see in those trendy stores where it's like Hurley or girl power. This is like a trucker hat. Like those aren't the trucker hats I'm wanting, man. But nope. I remember when those were all the rage, and this is my final one. Just a little bit of reminiscing down memory road. Again, though, if you guys can't relate to this, and this is just my podcast, I'm down with it. But you remember the Live Strong bracelets, the rubber bracelets on your wrists?
Right.
Yeah. I remember those.
It wasn't even eventually you just had to get like the Live Strong bracelets. It then eventually became anything would be on these bracelets. You wear like 12.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
I never got into this, but I swear maybe it wasn't then, but I swear like one of the first times I saw those was like when we were in Bible school together. And I was just like, those like, what is that? Is that a thing? Is there a company that makes those singularly? Are they part of a set? I need more information.
Go to a conference or something? Never
I
take it
think
off?
Focus did it. I think Dave Focus was giving them out. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like we had some for an event. But like I remember some youth, because just for those that don't know that, like Dave and I, when we were involved in school, we used to help run youth groups. But like the youth had like 6 on each wrist. Like it was it was like a status symbol. Like the more you had, the more power you had, or something. It was just like some people had so many. And then I remember like I had like 2. I had like 1 on each wrist. But the problem is I'm a hairy guy. And so like if I would like ever like lift stuff, or I was drumming, I'm a drummer, or I would be doing things, it would like squeeze into my wrist, and like like how a rubber band like bunches if you it would do that and pull my hair. So I just ditched those things super fast. But I do remember those things were like fire. Like you wanted as many as you could. But obviously that escaped you. That's
buy them
fine.
at the gas stations. Well, that's the thing. And there's been lots of fashion trends that I see go by, and I'm just kind of like, see ya. No, but that's not even just fashion. There's lots of stuff like that. And sometimes it's like a weird rebellious streak where it's just like, I feel more unique if I like willfully pretend that I'm not into the thing everybody's into. It sucks. And I definitely try and steer away from that, but happens.
Okay.
Like for me, the bracelet thing, like I remember when it happened, but I only put one on for like a week, and then I'm just like, whatever, this is dumb. But like it has like like the more I think about it, to me it had more of a negative connotation to it because like I started learning that like I don't know, there was like certain reports on the news and stuff, or like fashion trends, stuff like that. And when people used to wear bracelets, some of them were like sex related things. And it was like if I don't know, it was like the girls or the boys wore the bracelets, and then if a person of the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever, ripped one of the colors, the color meant something, like an actual deed or something that was supposed to be done. And so it was like that was one thing that happened with bracelets, and it wasn't necessarily the ones that like had symbols on them. It was just like really thin colored ones, but they had like 12 of them on each hand, kind of thing. And
What?
yeah, and I know a lot of people, the way you can look at it for teenagers and stuff, if they're teenagers that are cutters, that like cut themselves on their wrists, they use bracelets as cover up so that you can't see and it distracts.
Yeah, or the sweatbands.
Yeah, or the
sweatbands. Yeah. I remember the sweatbands. Dang. Well, thanks for ruining that.
No, but it's just like I did see it as a trend, but then afterwards, as I grew up, I started seeing these trends starting to have different meanings, and they weren't just a fashion statement. They ended up doing like certain things with them, right? So I think everything turns into that, but.
Russ, you just need to get a wristband that says "happily married father of two," and then you're in the clear. Leave me alone.
That's called an engagement ring.
Yeah, I guess. Can you get one in a wristband?
Can you get a ring in a wristband? Is that okay? Good. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna ask you guys: did your parents ever put you in coveralls or overalls when you were younger at all? Did you ever wear those?
Gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
Or like I had a multicolored like corduroy like number that was like the one part was yellow, the other part was red, the other oh my gosh. I've seen some photos and I can't believe that I inherited my fashion sense from my parents, and it was like 90s photos and we're wearing like hand-me-downs from the 80s kind of thing. But
yep.
So yes, I do remember distinctly a few times like in grade school and wearing like coveralls, and yeah.
I mean, I used to wear overalls, but I also had a mullet. Like that's also what I forgot to mention is when we were watching these home videos, Addison for some reason had the mushroom bowl cut, like the legit bowl cut.
Had that too.
Classic.
Yeah.
Like shaved legit, on the back and sides. Yeah.
You just put a bowl on your head, man, and go nuts. Like that is the bowl cut, and he had that, but for some reason they were content to let my white blonde hair be a majestic mullet at like 3 years old. And so like everyone's busting
proud
gut
mane,
I look like
a lion.
Oh, I look terrible. I look freaking terrible. Addison looked even worse though with the mushroom cut, but I looked pretty bad. But I was just like, gosh, dang it. Like the mullets. My cousin actually, no joke, he got so tired of everyone because he just hates trends. He hates it. Like he'll go to Value Village, buy the biggest, largest wolf shirt and wear that, not because it's comfy, not because it's fashionable, just because no one else is wearing them. So like he absolutely hates being part of trends. And so in high school, everyone had either really long hair, okay, the boys, or they had like the kind of not mohawk, but like kind of the stylistic hipster kind of gel over, you know what I'm talking about? Mm. And he grew a mullet. He just was the only one in his entire school. His high school has like 1,100 people, and he's the only. He just was over it. He's like, I'm just this stupid. And guess what happened? People started growing mullets.
School.
Bet. People started growing mullets, and so then what did he do? He started growing long hair, and then he finally shaved it. So it's like he can't win anyways. But that's how fashion works, right? Like
that's probably There's probably a lot of truth to that for sure.
Absolutely.
The ones setting the trends are the ones that are like, no, leave me alone. I don't want to dress like you.
Look at that.
I'm my own
it's
person.
A new look.
Seriously.
I could believe it.
I don't know why my t-shirt thing never caught fire and people started copying me. It's not a good look, but I mean, it's how it goes. I think I've learned though about you two, even just from the short talk. I think it's a real advantage, especially for those people listening out there. I don't think it's bad to pay attention to certain trends if they're they're cool or comfy, or you're just. But I'd say I encourage you to adopt your own look, like your own style, because if you keep chasing trends, exactly like mullet school, it's so quick. Like you're always changing, and so I think you got to be comfortable with who you are, but don't be afraid. Like I think I'm comfortable with my style, but I've definitely copied from skaters. I've definitely copied from people that love like big cardigans. Like I don't know. There's no name for my style. I think some people identify themselves within their popularity of fashion, and I think that's wrong. I mean, I have a buddy, Cloud knows who he is. Actually, Dave, you know who he is. But clothing defines him. Like he has a problem. Like and he shops all the time, but he's always changing his style. Heck, I actually used to look forward to when he went through his closet once a year to throw out his clothes, because I would get like his leftovers. He's like, I haven't worn these jeans. They still have the tag on them. I'm like, sweet, but
hold on. Are they girls' jeans?
Wait a minute, Dave. Wait a minute. I still buy them when they're on sale, but that's it. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not interested, right? If they're not girls' jeans, I'm on board.
I hate you and love you at the same time. I don't know, man. I think fashion's tricky, but I think fashion can just be a super chillax thing. Like, again, imagine Cloud going through a store and just be like, not comfy, not comfy, not comfy. It's a decent color. The design's okay. I don't care what the price is. I'm going to wear this all the time.
I put a blindfold on when I enter the store. It does not come off until I have made my purchases and left.
You would not believe how much lingerie I own.
Yeah.
Lingerie is uncomfortable.
I wear a lot of
Come on.
G-strings. It's true. It's not comfortable. Not that I have worn it.
How do I know? I don't know. I'll leave that for you to decide.
Right on.
You guys know how hairy I am, so you'll just keep that mental picture for me, okay? You're totally fine.
Thanks.
You are quite a hirsute gentleman, yes.
Thank you.
Did you have like word of the day toilet paper? Are you using Fleek?
My brain is word of the day toilet paper.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
It's on fleek. Way to go, Super Dave. Way to go. I mean, other than that, I don't think there's much more to talk. I'm like looking through things right now, to be honest with you. So like, for example, just so these are some of the top trends of their decades. You guys ready for a little bit? It's just a little bit of facts.
Yeah.
So obviously in the 18th century, 1700s, the giant wigs was a sign of power and authority. Right,
powdered wigs. Yeah, sure.
The bigger the powdered wig, or the more elaborate, the more respectable
lice
you were. The more lice, but more wealthy.
I can afford legions of my own lice.
I can buy my lice.
Yeah.
It says here, as the name suggests, we can firmly blame the Italians for this type of because it's actually called the macaroni. A real. What is that? Oh, dang it! I have to go back.
Who's it? What's a macaroni?
Can't here. The macaroni, a real character in the late masquerade. Really? That's interesting. Okay. Anyways,
there's a guy named Macaroni.
I don't know. I'm trying to read this. It's kind of obscure, but these upper class twits with their long curls and spine glasses were inspired by their travels to Europe, a rite of passage for the wealthy. Then, just as Gap years in Asia are now, on top of their tall weaves, they wore a chapeau bras, a small hat. That's what it's called. Chapeau bras. Well, that's nice. That could often only be reached using the tip of a sword. Holy crap, that's a huge wig.
Awesome.
Wow. So that was
not recommended
the
for
style. That was the trend back then. Here's another one. I don't really know what these are. I'm looking at it and I get it, but do you know, is it Dick Tracy, Dave? You know what I'm talking about? Dick Tracy?
Yeah, yellow trench coat detective.
Yeah, but maybe it's not the right thing. But I watched the movie back in the day. They're called zoot suits from the 1930s. Zoot suits.
I've heard the term before, but I can't picture what that is.
Suit onesie?
Google it. Google it. It's ZOOT suits, zoot suits. So it says this: the great jazz musician Cab Calloway described the word zoot as meaning exaggerated, and he wasn't wrong. Oversized jackets, giant collars, and high-waisted trousers with legs so long they called them drapes characterized this look in the 1930s.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah,
the zoot suit.
Yeah, that's exactly that. Like the Dick Tracy old movie, they all wore zoot suits, if I'm not mistaken. The zoot suit grew out of the 1930s Harlem Renaissance, and at the time was an expression of individualism for hip African American and Mexican American club goers.
Oh, nice.
Holy balls! Right?
Yeah,
Did you
that's
look it up?
Nice. They're snazzy.
Zoot suits, man. Zoot suits, absolutely. This one's standard.
Look at
in
those
the
pocket chains. That's crazy.
There, you guys, if you're listening to this right now, look up Zoot Suits right now. ZOOT suits, Zoot Suits. They're pretty dope.
Looks so comfortable. I would
They do.
totally rock
They
one of
do.
those if it was socially
I
acceptable.
knew right away you would, Dave. I knew right away that a Zoot suit would be totally your style.
Yeah. Coats.
In the 1800s again, top hats. That's a trend, right?
Yeah, okay.
It's people, it's not much a trend as a grinding necessity for any man with social status in the latter part of the 18th century up until World War II. The top hat was not only unwieldy to wear, but became a potent symbol of the ruling elite in Britain's rigid class system. Very interesting.
Bonus monocle and cane too.
Sure. The monocle was definitely more of a sign of evil than any, even if you couldn't see in that one eye and you needed it for real. Flared trousers. I don't really. These are hippie pants, kind of self-explanatory.
Sure. Okay.
Flared trousers. I'm trying to read here why. Since they first appeared on sailors in the mid 19th century, they've proven to be the dandelions of British fashion. Dandelions.
Like a weed?
I guess apparently hippies just paired them with garish tie-dye shirts and they loved it. So, okay. You guys got to remember this though. It still exists, but not as popular. But you remember the sagging pants phase of the 2000s? You weren't cool if your pants didn't ride halfway down your ass.
Like you pick your boxers knowing that people were going to be seeing them and judging you based on the design. Yeah.
I tried that. I did.
Yeah.
I tried it. I had to give it a shot.
Me too. That was definitely my skater days. That was definitely the height of fashion, or at least
I enjoy
what I
belts.
interpreted it to be. Yeah, well, you need a belt still. I mean, otherwise they're going right down. But you just belt it around like your upper thighs.
Yep. I had a friend in church. His name was John, and he wore them. Like if he ever bent over, you got his whole butt in underwear and then his pants. But my brother Lyndon tried to pants him once because they were already down.
Right.
And he could not get them past his weight, like his like thighs. Like that belt was so firmly attached around his thighs.
Yeah,
it was.
You gotta have a lot of faith in your belt.
It was pretty impressive, man. Pretty
Lots
impressive.
of stress in that area.
I wouldn't think that this is actually a popular one, but in the 1600s, ruffs. It's like those white collars around their neck. They're fluffy and they stick around.
Yeah, okay.
Called ruffs. I don't know. I won't really dwell on this. I'm just trying to see here what they say.
Victorian era sort of like
that's exactly
flea
it.
collar. Yeah.
William Shakespeare.
Right.
So apparently it says this. By this
tutu
rule,
for your neck.
the unsightly human doily that afflicted the necks of William Shakespeare, Louis XIV, and any other men painted during the 17th century, an accessory which, at its peak, could be up to a doorway bothering 1 foot in width. Holy
Can't get in through the
frick.
door.
See, it's one of those things that's like I would never wear that, but like at times I've seen them on characters in the right time period, and it's
you're
like
totally cool
that's
with
kind of
it.
cool. Yeah,
You're
you know,
totally down with
Yeah,
it.
you
I
were
can pull
also-
that off now.
rocking like a nice like black embroidered tunic or something underneath, and I don't know. It's weird, but I guess being a big fan of like sci-fi and fantasy, you see lots of characters that will be wearing, stuff like that, and sometimes not even, especially anime too. They seem to pull from all kinds of different time eras.
Absolutely.
And different characters. Not all, but generally more than Western. So I don't know. Stylistically, I like it because different outfits you can use to sort of already make people get an idea of like what a character is about just by looking at them and what they're wearing. But it's weird. That's weird. Ruffs.
Okay. Well, then this is the
Fashionable
final
neck
one.
brace.
I never wore this one ever. I actually hate. This is my least favorite style ever. And if you watch PewDiePie, he actually wears an Adidas track jacket all the time. And
I got one.
in the 80s, they're called shell suits. And they would be matching track pants or gym pants with the same jacket. So you
Yeah.
would wear them, right? They're called shell suits. And I never, ever, ever liked that style on me. I felt uncomfortable and I hated it. But apparently, it still exists. But in the 80s,
Yeah.
that's when it was most popular.
Yeah, no, I have one, and I'll rock it from time to time. Actually, that's my my go-to airplane travel outfit or coat or whatever. You know,
Really?
it's light, it breathes, it's got zippers. You know, it's kind of yeah. I don't know. It definitely gives me that Eastern European bootlegger look, though, for sure.
Yes.
But
yes.
you got it zipped all the way up. Would you like to
Like-
see television?
I'm
In the
looking
back-
at images right now. The pants have to be coordinated. Like I'm looking at shell suits, like holy balls, like that's crazy. Anyone out there and you don't know what we're talking about, just do shell suits. But it's like those track jackets, and they have like the loose, easy breezy matching pants.
Ugh.
I see what
Yeah.
you're saying.
No,
No,
this
I
is a-
did not set like this. Mine are just the standard black.
I'm like,
three
Dave,
straight
I think you
seats.
just have a
Yeah.
windbreaker. But
Yeah.
like
Wow, that's horrendous.
shell suits, man, it's pretty important. And you know what's funny? My dad wore this. He definitely did. I know he has a jacket. He got rid of it years ago, but I used to put it on as a child. There's a picture of a guy with like a purple shell suit jacket and yellow on the shoulders. That was pretty much his jacket. Like he
Nice.
wore that, and then he had like matching pants.
It looks
So-
like they're getting ready to jump out of a plane.
Right? Like there's shell suits. It's
Hal
totally like
Jolson
that.
and Diane McLeod.
Oh, Hal Johnson and Diane McLeod. Yeah, body break. Oh my gosh, that's reminiscent right there. But other than that, everybody, I just thought that this would be a kind of nice, terrible, cringy way of stepping down memory lane. I think the thing I've learned, like I said, is that fashion is a normal way of life, just like the English language, right? That's lit, fleek.
Mm.
What
Saw,
did you
dude.
call me? How did you say it was? Thank you. Yes, throwback to the previous episodes. Saw, dude, my dude. I think fashion can be a weapon against you or for you, or you can just exist and be comfortable and happy with who you are. I don't think there's any discontent amongst the three of us. I definitely, though, know people, and I did chase fashion for a little bit, but yeah, obviously looking back, it's just such a waste of energy and time, and you end up not feeling cool anyways, even if you spend hundreds of dollars per shirt, right? So, I mean, that's my summary. Any closing remarks for either of you guys? Like, it's just, this was such a chill podcast, but it's just about kind of the ways that we've treated fashion over the years, kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, be a trendsetter, do your own thing, and people will rip you off, and then you'll have to do it again. You know, that's something.
at high school.
Yeah, that's right. If not a lesson, it's definitely something to think about and consider if you are one of those people. So maybe just wear something so abhorrent and god awful that no one would be just dare
That's
to
right.
replicate it. You know, yeah, I don't know. Cloud.
No, I don't have anything really much to say.
Nah, it's not
Just-
much. It's
Yeah.
not much. It's fine. I would say this. I'm very happy to be doing this podcast with two dudes who I know personally very well. And I can say this, you guys are perfectly fine in your fashion, but the fact that you don't let it define you, very good props. Very good props, Wondertilt. Good job, team.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
to
welcome.
everyone else, like Dave said, be a trendsetter. Wear the ruffs. Bring back the ruffs.
Yeah.
Are they called
Do it.
ruffs? Right. Bring back the ruffs and wear it with a shell suit. And boom.
In
Macaroni.
5 years, I'll copy you when it's no longer trendy.
Dave will be around. I
Check
tried
out
it
the
for a
sales
week.
A
shoot,
little late.
guys.
We're all wearing like spacesuits, and Dave's like, "Oh, shell suit." Other than that, everybody, enjoy, be nice to each other, tip your waitresses, and we will catch you next time on Wondertilt. Have a great night, day, evening thingy.
Yep.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.